Hey, GM fam. Welcome back to another episode of, well, not GM Metaverse. Usually we do GM Metaverse at this time. Today, we got a special recording of Metaverse Spotlight with one of the co-founders from Nifty Island. I forgot to ask you. I'm pretty sure it's Charles, but I'm just
You got
guessing
it.
that's how
You
you
got
say
it.
it. Charles, what's up, dude? Welcome in to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. We just put out our wave 2 of our airdrop. So myself and the team are grinding on that for a little bit, and it's nice to have that done. And it's just now we're kind of looking forward, and yeah, it's been cool. Honestly,
Yeah,
life is
hell
good.
yeah, hell
No
yeah.
complaints.
I logged in yesterday and noticed that the Wave 2 stuff, and I had some of those growth gang stuff, which we'll have to get into here in a second. Before we get too deep and carried away in our conversation, do you want to just give everyone a quick little intro of yourself and Nifty Island and what Nifty Island is for
Mhm.
people that maybe aren't familiar, and then from there we'll kind of hit the ground running, and we'll dive into what this play to airdrop wave 2 is, and kind of just see where that leads us.
For
Sound good?
sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm CEO and co-founder of Nifty Island. Started this with my good friend Zunk almost 3 years ago now, 2021 in the spring. And really, what we were trying to do from the beginning was think from first principles around, okay, if NFTs and Web3 more broadly are going to have a profound impact on gaming, what does that look like? Like, if you were to build a game that embraces it all the way, what are the most important things to build? What should it look like? And we came up with this premise that having an open game world where all of these NFT communities can play and they can create wild UGC that's kind of NFT enabled. So you can make a sword, a gun, a house as an NFT. You can build your own island, get rewarded for creating cool content and playing kind of wild games that want to be shared on social media. That was sort of the idea. And so yeah, that's Nifty Island. It's a prize fueled user generated content game world where everyone has their own island. You can play games on that island and share it online, get people to join. Every NFT community is integrated more or less, or almost everyone. Yeah, that's us.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome. So this Nifty Island started from just two of you, you and a friend or an acquaintance. Is he a friend, or how did you meet? You said Zunk. Is that the other?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just what he goes by.
yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other since middle school, so we go way back. And
Cool, cool.
Zunk's been making games, more or less since then. And then I've been deeply involved in crypto for a long time, and so that's kind of this project is a kind of a marriage of both of our interests. And then there's been a bunch of other people who contributed since the early days too, who I go way back with, like our lead backend engineer I've known since elementary school, and then our one of our very first people to join, our lead blockchain engineer I knew from college. But
Okay.
so there's a bunch of, it's a very tight knit crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That sounds like a crew I always like dreamed. I've been in this space myself for probably like 4 or 5 years now. Been super focused on it for 4 or 5 years. I knew about crypto for a while before that, but got sucked in whenever I started realizing how, especially whenever I started realizing what NFTs were and like how that could play a role in gaming. Like that's when things really started to click for me, where I was like, shit, like NFTs make so much skin for like in-game skins and all that different stuff as far as like gaming goes. And then I just like dove in, and I was like, I gotta immerse myself in all of this and just figure out how it all works. So it's super rad to hear a story of just like some friends coming together and putting together something as awesome as this. How big is the team now? Like, what, you guys, 10, 15, less than that? I don't know.
More,
I
a
have
little
no idea.
more. I'd
A
say
little
it's
more.
like, so I'd say, the fullest number is like 30. And then there's, some that are more full-time, some that are more like part-time contracts. So, I'd
Sure.
say the full big number is 30. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's been over the span of 3 years, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it
more or
started
less.
off smaller than that,
Yeah,
and then it grew, but I'd say this has really been the kind of the right number where it's really quite lean for the scope of what we're doing. Like everyone's
sure.
busy. There's not a lot of like extra capacity there, but it's big enough to get the job done. So it
Yeah,
seems like we've, after a period of kind of growing and then cutting and growing, cutting, we've arrived at something where we really have like a diehard team that is really great. So that's been awesome.
that sounds like a good position to be in. Um, whenever you guys were initially developing Nifty Island, like was what it is today the vision? Was it a different vision? I'm assuming there's a bigger vision that we're working towards a vision eventually. But like, what did it start? I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, what did it start out as, and how did we end up to what we are today? Is it all the same, or is it a different story?
Yeah, I think a lot of the broad strokes, like our core convictions, have remained the same. So we thought like crazy prizes, definitely a good thing.
Yeah,
Definitely something people in crypto like. Crypto
yeah,
prizes are more fun. They're like the best prizes on the internet.
for
We thought
sure.
UGC was important and is made better by NFTs. That stayed the same. We thought these NFT communities were worth working with and important to integrate. We've tripled down on that. And
Hmm.
then the nature of gameplay and island creation in broad strokes, have remained the same. But a lot of like tactical things about how we went about that changed over time,
Sure,
were
sure.
refined. But I honestly think right now the broad strokes have been, in place for a while. And yeah, so it's kind of, there's like more small pivots, but it's basically been, the idea has been the same from the beginning.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
It's been cool. Like we talked a little bit before we hopped on the show, and I've been paying attention to Nifty Island. I don't I don't really remember when I heard it, but I know like I think you guys launched like where people could actually play in January. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yeah,
January 18th in the evening
yeah,
we
and
launched. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like I probably had heard rumors or murmurs about Nifty Island before that, but it's been fun to just see. Like I said, I didn't say this on the podcast, but I've been in and out of Nifty Island on and off for the last basically since January, on and off, and more on in the last month or so. I've been really enjoying it there, and um, it's just been fun to see the growth, and you guys just keep like iterating. Iterating. This is a word that I've been using a lot lately, but I think it's very
Yeah,
applicable to this space. Is that like the faster you iterate and the faster you roll out, it seems to be most of the time better.
definitely. Oh, definitely.
And it's been awesome to see you guys do that. You guys are constantly, it seems like, giving us something new, something different to think about. Is when these new features and stuff come out, how far ahead are you as a team? Maybe it's like a two lots of different answers to this, but like as a team, are you, I'm assuming you're planning pretty far into the future, but also like taking user feedback and implementing what the users are asking is probably another thing you guys are thinking about. But like how does that iteration process work for you guys, I guess, is what I'm getting at here.
Yeah. So I think the tricky thing about games is it's like quite heavy. Like if we embark on a feature, if we're like, oh, it'd be cool if people could make their own islands, or like, oh, if you could terraform the land, or be able to place build objects and create your own landscape in a pretty easy way. Like these are really big undertakings, so you can only pivot so much, or you have to be planned out relatively far in advance. So I'd say like we try to have like a kind of 3 to 6 month you know allotment of work that is like very well defined, as best we can. And sometimes we fall short of that, sometimes we're nailing it, but there'll be a pretty like rigid 3 month say roadmap where we have some bandwidth for like these ad hoc things that come up where like a user's like, hey, notifications on the web app needs to be improved, we fix that. Or the way NFT minting there works is broken, we need to fix that. Or oh, this obscure thing in the build system isn't working for me. So we always have room for ad hoc requests, but we kind of have to be relatively well planned out. And again, that's why I think that having strong convictions about what's worth building is so important, because with these games, you spend months building, and then you find out if people like it. And so you kind of have to be right. It's not like making like a lightweight application where you can maybe try something and see if people like it. You kind of have to commit a little bit. So yeah, it's hard to nimbly iterate in the way that someone maybe making like I think like Friend Tech, they could probably change something really quick.
Sure.
You can't change things as quickly.
Yeah. That's really good insight to get from you. And it makes a lot of sense. I don't come from a background of game development or anything, but I've been immersed in it for the last, like I said, like 4 years or so. And I always wonder like how difficult it actually is to pivot behind the scenes, and like if you realize there's something going on that you do really want to fix, but you're like, God, it's gonna set us back months, maybe. I don't know on what you or maybe you were already working on something for months, and then you're like, well, now we got to scrap that because we need to go this direction.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Yeah. You don't want that. Exactly. It's got to be that you build things that are based in like, and this is what's cool about building an open game world like ours is it's kind of hard to do because it has so much surface area, but it's you can try so many things on top of it. So I think with some Web3 games, they could get boxed into a corner where it's like, I'm a turn-based medieval strategy game. And, if people don't like that, if they don't like what that offers within Web3, you can't really pivot it that much. But we tried to make something that has really broad appeal where if we wanted to add wagering on top of Nifty, we could do it. If we wanted to add turn-based combat on top of Nifty, we could do it. There's no like. So what the nice thing is that we've made big bets on like people like prizes, people like UGC, people like making islands, and then where we take it from here, we can do a lot. We have a lot of flexibility. So if we decide, hey, what people really want is turn-based wagering games, we could be like, okay, well, we're going to make a bunch of those on top of Nifty. Let's see how that works. So we have flexibility there. Like it's a game that can be taken in many directions.
Which is awesome. And we're getting into the UGC conversation, which is probably my area of most excitement is all the UGC that you guys are allowing to be done. I gave you a little bit of my background, but for those that are tuning in that don't know, I've been heavily involved with the sandbox for the last 4 years, building a lot of different stuff and just experimenting in that world. And that's very much UGC centric. And then whenever Nifty Island came along, basically the way that I look at the sandbox and Nifty Island, I think that you guys are very, very much in a position to coexist. And the sandbox is creating tools that are very deep as far as like logic goes. Like you can do some pretty crazy things with like logic and customizing your specific game, which maybe eventually you guys are going to get to that. I have no idea what you guys' plans are. But my initial reaction is then Nifty Island is a very, very much like user ease of use for the user. So you get in, it's super easy to get into the game and get your island going, and it's super easy to build. I do have feedback on the tools, but I'm sure they'll get better and better as we go. I don't need to throw them out right now, but as I'm building, I build on stream all the time, and I just like mention things like, oh, it would be nice if I should like compile all those, like, oh, it would be nice if it did this, and and then I'm gonna dump them on you one day, and you're like, Jesus, but there's another month
it's okay.
of stuff
We're ready. I've had people send
do.
me whole docs, and I appreciate it. That's actually the best.
I would say it's actually helpful to get feedback like that.
I'm gonna say shout out to Lobster. He sent me this really big document with like tons and tons of ideas that were all beautifully documented. So I'll say shout out to him.
Hell yeah! Shout out Lobster with the with the diagnostic report of Nifty Island. I love it. That's probably super helpful to get feedback like that. We're going all over the place, but while we're on this subject, what channels do you have that people could provide feedback? I'm assuming in the Discord there's somewhere that people can go to provide feedback. What's the best place? Because I feel like as a team, it's probably tough to keep track of all of the different things that are like all the different signals that are coming in of oh, you should do this, you should do that. Like, do you have a place that you would like people to put their feedback at? Like, what's the best for them to
Discord is great. We have
Okay.
like suggestions and support tickets you can open, and that's a really good place to do it. You can also come to an AMA and you can talk to us about something directly. You know, we do long ones. Like our last one was like, I don't know, a couple hours or something. So
Cool.
people come up, they talk, they share their perspective. So that's always good. And then if you're in like, and then there's definitely a bunch of people who are in like the super core community. They own a Palm, or like just have been chatting with me for a long time. And there's so many people like I have, you know, DMs open with, and we just talk about stuff. But if you're new to the community and you try it and you have ideas, I think Discord's a great place to start. Yeah. But
hell yeah. So get inside their Discord. I'm thinking I could actually pull I totally forgot also. But I'm gonna pull up our screen here. And if you guys go to Nifty Island, yeah, you guys got it right there. If you go to Nifty Island on Twitter, that's probably the easiest way to find their Discord. It's linked right in their bio, discord.gg/Nifty Island. And it's Nifty_Island on Twitter. So go give them a follow. Obviously, you don't want to miss any of their updates, and then also get inside their Discord. That's probably the best place if you have questions or anything like that, or feedback. And also, I also forgot to mention this, but I don't know if I'm actually in.
What game is this? I don't recognize this.
You don't recognize this one?
Oh, what is this? This looks good.
It looks great. Where, except for I can't figure out. I was on my island, but apparently I'm not anymore. There it is. Reload Island. Beautiful. If you guys want, I meant to say this earlier, but if you guys want, jump in, just search Crafterverse or Crafter. I'm sure we'll pull it up. And
I can join. Did you have trouble accessing your island?
Yeah, of course.
Time for some feedback.
I was gonna say, of course, whenever we actually have it live on the stream and having difficulties, but no biggie. We're gonna go to my play now and see if this works. We'll get it loaded up here. But Crafterverse or Crafter, I can drop the link in the chat for y'all as well once I get in here. If you're watching over on Twitter, I know you guys can't. There's not really a good way for me to get you guys links. I use StreamYard, so we're on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
You could reply if you want.
Like in the comments, does that work?
You could, I think I see people do it. Like if you have a stream going or something, reply, do another tweet underneath it with it. Could work. Could be good.
But I'll get that link for y'all in a second. Otherwise, you can just go load into Nifty Island. But use my code if you don't.
Definitely, we should talk about the codes.
I was gonna say let's segue into and please come join us. I actually set up this morning. I was like, we need somewhere to like have a podcast. I'll probably like end up building like a studio of some sort eventually and putting it in here. But I set up a fun little place for us to sit around the fire and chat, have a little fireside chat. So if anyone wants to come in and hang out, please do. And I should be able to get the link now. Yep. So copy that link, and I'm gonna probably go over to Twitter. Twitter makes things so complicated for my streaming, at least. But you guys know how to search. I'm just gonna leave it at that and not get distracted by trying to get you guys links. You can just search Crafter or Crafterverse, and you should be able to find it. We got a couple peeps coming in now. Josh Fed, Ian, go us, let's go. Why don't we segue on over to the play to airdrop wave 2? What's going on with all of that? What is like the TLDR? What do people need to know as far as play to airdrop goes? What does that entail?
Yeah, so play to airdrop. Right now, you can play Nifty, you can share a link to your island, you can drive foot traffic to your island, and you can refer other users, farm blooms, and you'll earn points that will eventually convert into island token when that goes live. So that's the gist of it. And we did our wave 1, and it was intentionally pretty restrictive in terms of who could participate. It was about getting in the diehard NFT community and kind of seeing what they thought of the game. And thankfully, they liked it. So we started with that, and now with Wave 2, if you weren't eligible, if you didn't get a chance to play, you now can jump in, and you can also get referred by existing users, and they can sign you up using a growth code. So our veteran players are forming growth gangs, sharing codes, and signing up other users. They earn when other people play. So if you haven't played yet, encourage you to get a growth code, jump in. You don't need one to play, but it will give you a boost. So worth getting. But yeah, it's kind of the perfect time to jump in. This wave is all about growth, all about growing the game beyond the initial community we started with.
Heck yeah. I actually posted a handful of those growth codes inside of our Discord. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, !Discord in the chat. If you're on Twitch, we'll get you the link. Otherwise, you can go to my bio and get my links in my bio, and you'll be able to find our Discord. If you want a code, you can just drop in there. If you can't find the codes, just let me know, and I'll point you in the right direction. The growth codes. So growth codes, you're creating growth gangs, and
in order to grow to earn.
In order to grow to earn. So the growth gangs are working together to
they're in a symbiotic relationship, basically. So
okay,
I'm a veteran player. I have a bunch of codes, and I can make anyone I want eligible for the airdrop, or even if they're already eligible, I can boost their airdrop tier so I can help them out. And then if I sign you up and you're really active, I'm going to earn airdrop points whenever you play. So you've got a strong reason to get your codes out there to new players who might like the game, and you get to earn by driving new engagement with the game.
Gotcha. So it's I see the symbiotic. What up, Charles? Charles is in. Nice.
In the building.
Dude, some of the
these crazies are awesome. Look at that. We just got that in.
That is crazy. Crazy cool.
It really is. It really is. I should have one of those too, actually. Yeah, I do.
I like all the different what do you call the companion robot thingy?
B. That's B.
I like all the different skins for that. Are you allowed to just upload any skins for those right now, or is that different? I saw that you guys added weapons now, so people can do weapons for the UGC. I'm assuming that just because I see all kinds of crazy ones, that those are probably UGC as well. Yeah.
Yeah, all UGC. So avatars, B skins, swords, guns, structures, music. Pretty much everything you see can be UGC.
If somebody is interested in creating Dirty Doug's trying to jump and get on the screen. I love just having all this chaos going on while we're recording a podcast. I'm gonna probably start hosting everything from inside of Nifty Island. It's pretty rad. Thank you guys all for jumping in and hanging out and having a pod with us. And I got distracted. We were talking about skins. For creators that want to be creating skins and assets for inside of Nifty, is there a good place for them to go to like learn what they need to be doing? I don't know the best way to word this, like, because I'm not great at like modeling and stuff. So like, but I'm sure they need to know like what files and how it needs to be set up as far as like rigging goes. So is there I'm assuming there's a good resource for that. I just don't know where to point people, but this would be a good time to show people.
Yes, definitely. So I would say coming to the Discord is good, just because we have lots of guides and other people can help. But the most simple thing is at the bottom of our web app, there is a
creator guidelines.
Yes,
resources?
Exactly.
Got it.
I just had to make sure I beat Dirty Doug there. There's a lot on the line. A lot of honor on the line there. So exactly, bottom of the web app, creator guidelines. You also will be able to find those if you go to the create function there. They're right in the minting app. Minting down.
Okay, got it. And then it's got all the different details you would need to know for creating stuff and uploading into Nifty. So right now, from a creator standpoint, you can create. Get rid of that. You can create and also do this. What the hell was I saying? Oh, you can create weapons now. Like weapons is a new thing that you can be uploading into the market. You can create avatars, which I've messed around with. There's a couple of people on our island right now that are wearing the crafter avatar. I actually figured out, with the help of a much bigger brained modeler than myself, how to take an avatar that I had created inside of the sandbox using their Vox Edit program.
Nice.
And then we exported it. But the way that the sandbox exports, like the rigging's all messed up, I guess. So you have to like then upload it into Blender and do all kinds of magic behind the scenes that I don't really know how to do. But he does have a YouTube video out there on how to do it. So if anybody does want that YouTube video on how to take stuff from the sandbox and rig it so that it works in Nifty Island, let me know and I can get you the link. Probably I'll drop it in the Discord or something. But basically he shows how to walks you through from Vox Edit all the way to turning it into a VRM and uploading it into Nifty Island. So that's been cool to mess around with some of that. And one thing that I love just right off the bat is that you guys are just allowing people to do the UGC for everything, like being able to just do whatever avatars you want, whatever assets you want in there, because that's one thing that I've had a gripe with the sandbox about, is like, it's been, I still don't have any avatars in the sandbox, and I've been trying to get avatars in the sandbox for the longest time. So if you're listening to Sandbox, please help me out. But I love that you can just go over to Nifty and be able to just do that right off the bat. Can people also do like assets that they're building with and stuff like that, or is it strictly okay? So it is. So
yeah, pretty much everything in the game.
All the things.
It is just really going to be more and more stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much everything you see can be UGC. Buildings, platforms, everything. Even Dirty Doug, who I'm slashing right now, he himself is UGC.
I was gonna say, you seem like you're in an intense battle right now.
I am. I'm winning, thankfully, for now. So, but.
Are you winning, son? Good.
For now.
For now. So we touched on the play to airdrop, which is going on right now. What are the I guess, like from a player's standpoint in this wave 2? I think you already kind of talked about it, but if you want to just recap for me, what are the main things that a player needs to know to get inside and start participating in the play to airdrop?
Just taking out Dirty Doug again. Come on. Oh God. Okay, got him. We're good. Just got him. We're good. But just trying to keep everyone on this island safe from him. But so with wave 2, we've created a bunch of new stuff. So there's new game mode, break the targets.
I like
expanded
that.
UGC to pistols and swords. You can make your own pistol or sword now, which is cool. And there's a bunch of stability and kind of like smaller improvements you'll just see throughout the game, which are a little harder to describe. And then I think the main thing really though is that we're trying to grow the game this time around. So it's all about getting existing users to refer new users and to earn by doing it. So if you're a veteran player, you'll have a bunch of growth codes. You can extend airdrop eligibility to anyone or boost people who are already eligible. Growth codes, you can send them to anyone who's a new player, someone who hasn't played very much yet. So their goal is form a growth gang and earn by motivating new players to play. And that's really a super important part of this wave. So it's grow to earn. It's a bunch of new features. That's what wave 2 is all about.
Dope. I like it. And I'm excited to continue to play. So realistically, you just want to either, if you have growth gang codes, get those distributed to players that are playing consistently. And if you don't, get in a gang. If you're in a gang, do you get perks? Oh yeah, you get the boost if you get the
boost, and then I think some growth gangs might offer incentives to each other. I think we're going to see some of that. People doing prizes like, hey, be the most active person in my growth gang. I expect that we're going to see a little bit of that.
Okay.
So we shall see.
This is a good topic to be segueing to. I was going to ask you, have you seen or do you have ideas of how how you expect growth gang to be utilized, and I see that one being probably a pretty solid choice, is incentivizing people to get into a certain gang and be the most active.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that happen. I think what we're seeing in the first day or so is people taking, just the initial like low hanging fruit of like, oh, I'm going to post these on Twitter, and that's a good start. And I think what you'll see from there are people going deeper and trying to find like really active people. Like they might be hitting up people IRL or people in Telegram or Discord, and then and forming and getting kind of putting a little more effort into their recruiting. I think you'll see that happen. And then I think from there, you're also going to see people offer prizes and incentives, because if you can get your growth gang to be really active and kind of competing with each other, you'll do much better in wave 2. So really having that super dedicated crew of people who you've recruited and onboarded and they're loving the game and you're incentivizing them to play, that's the way to go. And I think you're going to see people too, like make UGC in the marketplace and give it to their growth gang. I expect that too. Just some predictions. We'll see.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm currently assembling a growth gang of my own. If you do want to join the growth gang, best way to do that is get inside my Discord and hit me up, and we'll figure it out. I think I have like 5 codes left. How does the distribution of those codes work? I also saw the kind of along with my question. I think I saw somewhere that we will get more eventually.
You will get more eventually. Best thing you can do is use them, get them out there, use them, and have your recipients be active, and more codes will come. So yeah,
makes sense. And then as far as we had a question from Toch in the chat, says, "Hey Charles, as a new player, just onboarded him the other day. Hell yeah, let's
Legend.
go.
Nice.
Is there a way to also earn growth codes to give out? ? So he's a new player, doesn't have growth codes. Will he get some eventually, or
safe bet you'll get some?
Safe bet you'll get some. Perfect. I like that answer. We also had, let me go back. I've been starring some questions, or at least trying to. Oh, Yoke in the chat said he's seen some crazy sword and gun designs already on the marketplace.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm sure there's going to be some wild ones out there. Do you, as far as the marketplace goes, do you have any sort of moderation, or I think moderation would probably be the right word for that. Do you have any sort of that going on?
Definitely. It wasn't great to start, but moderation has picked up already. It's not perfect yet, but it's with the first wave of us kind of like taking some stuff down, or even taking it down from the marketplace. Maybe you can use it in game, but you can't sell it. That has started happening, and it's just going to pick up even more. So I think we're getting a handle on it. I think moderation, is trending towards being good. And I would say in like a month, it's going to be like, maybe 2 weeks, a month, you're going to be like, oh, this thing's pretty well moderated.
Nice. That I feel like that would be a tough task to tackle.
Everybody wants to upload Sonic.
Right.
And then sell Sonic.
I was going to say that I feel like especially all of the different copyrighted things are just going to this just popped in my head, and maybe there's no answer for this, but what happens if somebody has bought something off the marketplace and then it gets taken down? They can. You said that they would still be able to use it, but they can't sell it, or how to? Yeah,
that's typically what we're going to be doing, is like stopping things from being traded on the marketplace, like from the front end. Where it's more extreme for us to like actually say, hey, the asset, you can't use it in game anymore. That's more extreme. So, and I'd say basically like, if you buy things that are like, if you buy Sonic on the marketplace, that's a buyer beware kind of moment.
Right. Basically. That's what I've been telling people. I was like, if you see something that is somebody else's IP, if you're buying that, you might be losing that money eventually. Like, I don't know what's that, because that was my thought, is like,
don't expect to be able to resell it, at least.
And definitely don't expect to resell it based off of what you've said now, which I think is probably the best way to go. Because at the end of the day, that's what like IPs out there that would be DMCing or whatever. Is that what it's called? DMCA.
Like takedown notice.
Like that's what they would be opposed to, right, is that if people are making money off of it, but if
That's the worst.
If it's just in the game, they probably won't care, right?
It's kind of a level of badness,
Yeah.
different levels of badness. So like if it's in the game and someone tells us to take it out of the game and it's theirs, we'll do it. But if we can't be actively facilitating people making money off of other people's IP. That's sort of like the worst thing. So
right.
One thing I'll say too though is we have some cool featured stuff coming to the marketplace. So you're soon going to see, like, if you're looking at the marketplace and you're like, so what can I buy? What should I buy? We're going to be suggesting stuff more. So you'll see that coming really soon, featured items from the best creators. We want to really shout them out and get them some attention.
I think that's a great thing to be doing. I do also, there's a handful of y'all in here. I don't know if my island tells me how many people are on it.
I think we have 17 on your island right now.
Nice. Love it. Thank you guys for jumping in. I do have this where, if you push G, I think that's probably the easiest way. Yeah. If you push G, you can see the different race, or what do I have? I have a race and a death match. I was just messing around with both of those. The race is race to the top. If you guys do the time trial, you can get on the leaderboard, and I am going to give away some of these crafter avatars to anyone that gets on the top, I don't know, top 5 or so. If you already have one, obviously you don't need another one, but you can still participate and have fun with us. But I would say, like, if you get in the top 5 and you don't have one yet, I'll hook you up with one of these crafter avatars. So get in here, go do that time trial. All you got to do is hit G on your keyboard, and then go and hit the little time trial clock thingy on race to the top.
When are you going to take the top 5 snapshot?
That's a good question, and that's actually what I was going to ask you, because I know people are doing this. How do, and I haven't figured it out yet. How do you, I guess, how do you recommend hosting like tournaments and giveaways and stuff like that? Because
yes.
I would like to, tournaments is one thing that I think would be cool to do, but I would also like to do, like, as I do a daily show. So like and I do giveaways all the time. So like doing giveaways inside of my Nifty Island for maybe the top 5 or whatever on or however I decide to do it. Maybe you have better ideas, but like how would you recommend somebody go about doing stuff like that to kind of facilitate community inside of Nifty Island?
Yes. I'd say, so we're going to have systems that make this a lot easier coming. So you will have like our quest system will enable you to make your own. That's coming. But for now, before that comes out, if the prize is small, pretty much what you're doing here makes sense. Like if it's not crazy high value, like if it's not like, some 100 ETH or multi-$1,000 thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, be at the top 5 by this time. I'll take a snapshot. Boom. The higher the stakes, the more you want to do to just make sure people feel good about it. And honestly, it's partially to prevent cheating, but it's also partially because people will get mad at you if you don't do it in a good way. So
sure.
They want to feel like assured that the outcome is fair. I think that's one of the most important things with this. So what I'd say, if you're doing like a really big prize, state the rules really carefully, make sure you have a clear end time, and then have people record their best time for time trials and post it on X. It will create cool content. And if people can see the fastest time, they'll like believe it. The number of people I've had where they're like, this guy must be cheating. He must be cheating. And then I'm like, I remember Clyfowl, who's one of the fastest in the game, maybe the fastest. Everybody was saying he was cheating. And it did seem like he was cheating because he was really fast. And I went and like personally got on a call with him and then watched him do a bunch of runs and stuff like that. And I was like, I think he's just extremely good. And,
it is crazy that some people are just extremely good at games like this. It's wild.
Like so much better. Like it's like he's like way better than you. Like it's at a point where you're like, it's a different game,
Yeah. No, I see high scores on some of the leaderboards I try and get on all the time, and I'm just like, I'm 30 seconds off of that, and I thought I was going fast. Like, how do you do that?
It's something where someone will do something in the course of 1 minute that would take a regular person like an hour.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that big a differential. So people will accuse them of cheating all the time.
Right.
So anyway, if it's really valuable prize, people should just have people record it.
I think that's
yeah.
a good recommendation. And like have them posted to Twitter or something, and then you get some virality and some awareness out there around the event too, which always is helpful. So like if now I'm just thinking like for this event right now that I just randomly announced, because I do that all the time. I just decide to do things and do it. So giving away these avatars to top 5, like when you say like taking I don't remember what you said, if it was taking a screenshot or what, but like, are you?
Oh, I was saying snapshot.
A snapshot.
And really
like,
it's just look at the leaderboard at the end.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, is there a back end way to actually look at the leaderboard, or
we have that?
You do? Okay.
We have that, and we need to make it available to you. So
okay, gotcha.
Eventually you'll be able to like go to the web app, lock up a reward, set conditions, and the game will just do the competition for you. That's where we need to get to.
I love that. I think that would be much better. So it would distribute the rewards and everything. Yes. Hell yeah. That's I've been trying to get the sandbox to realize that they need to do that. But
if there's one thing I've learned through this project, it's that being in the position of having to judge a competition is not something you want to be in. You just don't want to be in that.
Nope.
Don't, especially if it's subjective, like the outcome.
Yeah.
But you never want to be that. So like if the game can be the judge, it makes it way more appealing. Because you literally host a single competition where you have to judge it, and you'll be like, "Oh, damn, this is a kind of a lot," you know. Especially if there are big prizes on the line, it's really tough.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a thing. Is there anything that you guys have set up, and maybe you can't talk very much about it because you don't want people to know how all of it is set up, but that is stopping people from cheating in different ways? I have no understanding of how you stop cheaters in games, but I know cheating is very prevalent inside of games, especially games that have rewards. So like, is there anything on your guys' side that's set up for that, or how does that all work?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of anti-cheat measures that we're putting in as we roll out quests. So there'll be more of that. Kind of prevents like people botting games or people just like kind of basic like cheating, and then the other stuff is we're just trying to design games that are more hard to cheat in. So it's like things like time trials are kind of nice because it's not like you can aimbot your way to victory.
Right.
It doesn't rely on people like competing concurrently. We just need to know that someone fairly did the time trial, and then we need to know who had the best time. It's a little easier. So yeah, there's more we're doing. We have a bunch of anti-cheat measures that are going in the next like month or so. Or two. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you noticed a high amount of probably cheating going on currently?
Not a high amount.
No.
There's been a smattering of stuff. So you've seen people trying to abuse the Bloom formula, not very successfully, I'll say, but they've
Sure.
There have been people who have decided they're going to try and farm them in a really miserable way. And that's fair. You know, if you want to do that, go for it. But, so we've seen some of that. We've seen people using like weird avatars uploaded through the create function to try and get an advantage in games. We haven't seen too much that's like straight up cheating where someone's like found some glitch where they're like, oh, I can, run 5x faster, or I can. Yeah. We haven't seen much of that.
That's good. I mean, as far as you said something, the avatar thing. So this probably is just me, like mentally, just like maybe it looks like I'm slower, but is there actually a difference in speed of avatars? If like, is there a way to get faster avatars or anything like that you guys have noticed? Maybe you don't want to say that out loud.
I can say no. It's honestly fine. People figure everything out anyway. It's all good.
Yeah.
So So I used to just say absolutely no, and now it's mostly no. But people have found a couple things. So big avatars look slower.
They look slower. They definitely look slower. I've noticed that. Yeah.
They're really so like it's just that when a small avatar travels the same distance, they take more steps.
So they look like they're running, like your guy running around the screen right now. I think
exactly.
Yeah.
He's running, but big guy looks slow. So But there's some really niche like edge cases where the way like basically the collisions on the avatar work can have a subtle effect. Like if you go through on one of these wind blowers with like a big avatar versus small avatar, it will affect it slightly differently. We're going to normalize that. And it's pretty niche. Like this is some niche stuff that matters for like speed runners basically. But, and it matters for speed runners, like at a very intense level of play. But we're going to normalize those. So that's
right on. Yeah. And I see somebody in the chat, the crafter avatar, the one that a bunch of people are wearing, doesn't fit through doors. And I know I always just roll through doors. That was probably a misstep on our side. We probably either had the hitboxes too big, or maybe he's just a little bit too tall. I don't really know what causes that exactly, but he just like hits his head right on the doors. Maybe it's the hood. The hood just gets you hung up on it or something. But anyways, I like the smaller avatars. I'm actually working on a line of 69 avatars that we're going to be dropping, and they're all going to be 101 avatars, and they're all going to be small little homies that are kind of the smaller size avatars. So that's going to be fun. I just think they look fun, and like you said, they look like they're faster. So maybe look fast, play fast, right?
Yeah, live your dream. Live in your own reality. That sounds good.
Exactly. We are running up on 5 minutes until the top of the hour. Thank you so much for coming on. I don't want to keep you too long. I'm sure you have all kinds of stuff going on. But I do want to give you the floor before you go. We're probably gonna keep on. We'll probably like play some islands of other people or something after we wrap this up. But I want to give you the floor just one last time, so you can say what you want to say. Plug Nifty Island. Tell people how they can do whatever they need to do to get involved with the play to airdrop, and then after that, if you do have a little bit of extra time, there are a couple questions that came in that I starred that we could kind of rapid fire. But I just want to put a button on everything first. Then we'll do that. So and then we can use this as a clip later. So I'm gonna give you. Well, we'll both take the floor here. But yeah, let us know whatever you want everyone to know about Nifty Island.
For sure. Well, I guess I'll just say like maybe a message for veteran players, a message for new players, and then for sandbox players too. So for like veteran players, I think this wave is all about growth. It's about growing the game and earning in the process. So if you haven't started a growth gang yet, that is the thing to do. Share your growth codes, get entrepreneurial about it, figure out how to find new active users, and we'll re-up you with growth codes as needed. So I'd say that for veteran players, like let's grow this thing. That's what we're trying to do this wave. And then for new players, this is the perfect time to jump in. You're right at the beginning of wave 2. Wave 2 is even bigger than the last, and the game is even better than it was, a couple months ago. So it's a great time to jump in. Almost all the like major frictions for signing up and playing the game have been alleviated, and it's still a great time to just get in at the beginning of what I think is going to be a big, fun multi-year journey to make something really, really cool. So, and then for sandbox players, just because I know you have a real, a lot of history there, I'll just say, encourage you to try it out. It's like I think seeing more of these game worlds come online for people who are skilled players, creators, 3D artists, like this is kind of your moment. Things are coming online, and it's like if you were into DeFi, you wouldn't only use Uniswap. So if you're into gaming, like maybe try a few of these games. And we're generally just trying to get everybody involved. And if you ever want to chat with me or talk directly, if you're like a sandbox creator and you have thoughts or concerns about the platform, I'm always down to chat. So but I just say try it out, see if you like it. The game is just going to keep getting better and better. We're spending a lot of time improving it. So
heck yeah,
worth checking it out.
It's definitely worth checking out. I've been checking it out for a while, and it's starting to all good games seem to do this for me. I'll try them, and then I'll get distracted, and then I'll circle back and I'll try them again, and then I'll get distracted. But eventually I start to get hooked, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep actually checking this one out because I really like this one, and that's what Nifty Island is doing for me right now. So props to you guys and the team. You guys are definitely doing things right, in my opinion. It's been a really fun journey so far, and I plan on continuing to help onboard new players. So if you guys are watching this and you maybe don't know much about Nifty Island yet, or anything in the blockchain crypto gaming world, I have my finger on the pulse with a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things. So if you want to get inside my Discord, that's the best place to stay up to date on all those things. And we're going to be exploring Nifty Island a bunch in the future here, very near future. I plan on kind of doing some tutorials on how to build and all that fun stuff, because I've been having fun just kind of experimenting, and I think getting some explainers out there for new players to realize that it is pretty damn easy to build games and stuff on your island would be good. So stay tuned for all that. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have time for a couple questions that we had come in? I don't know what your schedule is.
I actually have a hard stop, sadly. I'd love to, otherwise. I'm always down.
It's all good. You guys have been great as far as communication goes. So I'm sure if you guys have any questions that we didn't address on the show, I'm sorry that we didn't get to them. But we'll have to have you on the show again sometime. But thank you so much for coming on. What was it? I didn't finish my thought. Oh, if you have questions that we didn't get to, if you shoot them over on Twitter, just comment on a post from Nifty Island and ask the question. I bet you will get an answer. They've been really great about responding that way, or even try shooting them a DM.
Discord might be good.
Discord. Ooh, yeah, good call. Get into Discord.
For our sanity, Discord.
That's probably, I always forget to point people to Discord. Discord's probably the best place always to get your answers answered. All right. You can jet. Thank you so much. This has been a great time. Everyone else that's tuned in, we're going to continue to kind of play around in Nifty Island for a little bit. If you guys have any islands that you want me to go check out, drop them in the chat, and we'll go play some of y'all's islands. But yeah, thank you so much, Charles. And we'll definitely have to get you on another show here in the future. Man.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Absolutely. We'll chat soon. Have a good one.
Talk soon, Crafter.
Yeah.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.